Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Sibani Sekhar. I head marketing at RPA Tech. Thanks for tuning in for today's the special solution series of LinkedIn Live that we are doing for DocXtract. If you are in finance or operations and dealing with large teams that are processing or doing accounts payable operations, you already know the feeling. Invoices arriving in every format possible or imaginable, someone keying them in using say by hand, and month end all the deadlines are now pushed because some of the exceptions, some of the errors are still costing you. So today we are going to talk about reimagining accounts payable using DocXtract. And To take us through, I'm joined by Alok, founder and CEO RPA Tech, and the man behind DocXtract, the conceptualization, innovation, and the creation of the product. Alok is going to walk us through what the real AP automation could be with DocXtract. So why so many AP or say accounts payable automation projects stall and don't deliver the what do you call optimized results. So Alok, welcome.
Hi, Shivani. Great to be here. Let's get started.
Thank you, Alok. So, Alok, I would like to start with the problem itself. So, as someone who has been dealing with these operations for last so many years, and now that you have created a product that can solve, say, accounts payable, and we can see the optimized results with a product like DocXtract. Uh, Please share what does accounts payable today look like when you walk into a large or mid-sized organization. How what is broken in the accounts payable operations they are doing right now?
Yeah, accounts payable is part of major part of finance operation that happens in enterprises today. And most finance teams still spend a surprising amount of time moving data rather than making decisions. So, account payable processes are automated at many places, but what happens, there are a lot of decision making and intelligence is involved, but people are always in hurry because of lack of team size or lack of processes, lack of automation, and they spend a lot of time in moving data from here to there. The invoices come somewhere else, it has to be processed somewhere else, the payment happens somewhere else, and those things has to be done irrespective of amount of automations today in enterprises are there. A lot of time is spent in moving the data. Like invoice arrive in hundreds and thousands in enterprises of hundreds and thousands suppliers in different format via portal. Some people have vendor portal where they submit it, or even scan copies. Some people have a scan shop as well. One of our customer has a very big scan shop, and they still face problem. Someone has to open it, identify once the scan has happened. After that, they have to identify field, validate data, enter that in ERP. The problem is not just the manual effort, it's inconsistency.
Hmm.
Every supplier design invoice differently. Every software that is available, Zoho, QuickBook, and many other Voodoo and all for the small organization, for bigger organization, Microsoft Dynamics, SAP, and Ariba, they all have a different way to process those things. And supplier design their invoices also differently. So traditional extraction approach, if we automate it, it becomes difficult to maintain. That leads to delays, errors, long payment cycles, and the finance team most of the time are spending in repetitive work despite automation instead of handling exception, which requires a human intelligence, and spending time on control, improving the the payment cycle and managing whether payments are happening correctly or not. So that's what AP look like today in enterprises.
Okay, so you mentioned despite automation, I got stuck to the phrase. So if we can say discuss a little bit about it. So automation exists,
Yeah.
and currently with OCR plus RPA tools or OCR or RPA tools, it
Yeah.
exists in some form,
Mm.
but it is not delivering or say under delivering.
Yeah.
What are the reasons behind it?
So there are many ways enterprises do automation, and some buys procurement to pay platforms. Okay, some after our invention of RPA, many use RPA to automate it, and some OCR uh, offerings in the market which also offer end-to-end procurement to pay. So many projects, when automation projects happens, they feel that they have bought an OCR, the problem is solved. But in reality, OCR as I have told earlier as well, it reads only text. Someone still has to tell the system what field is where in invoice layout. That in account payable, the invoices come. A new vendors are added, format will change. Uh, a vendor can change their own format, new template, new extraction rules has to be created and maintained. Over time, this maintenance becomes the biggest cost. That's where many projects slow down or never scale or even never go live. Like I have been studying in industry, there are automation projects which started with big bang, but let's say a vendor was doing 4,000 uh, uh, different suppliers template creation, and 4,000 template creation took a lot of time, and by the time it has to see the light in the tunnel, the the effort and optimization which has vanished, and the kind of error it keep on throwing, kind of exception it keep on throwing, people lose interest and the project goes haywire. So it's never actually scale as originally planned in most of the account payable automation.
Yeah, so even though that is automated, it is not fully automated, and at the same point in time, because it's not fully efficient,
Yeah,
and it has requires a lot of manual still to be done. So
yeah,
it is never scaled to that extent that everybody like say thinks of while starting the solution.
yeah. So automation vendor actually do not educate the buyers that it will require maintenance. Okay, it is not that you have bought
Hmm.
a package or you have started an automation project and on the go live date you will have everything automated.
Hmm.
It requires maintenance, and if you are having a maintenance team which is doing re-templatization, fixing exception and other thing, then it may still work, and some places it works, but then maintenance becomes the biggest cost in this automation.
Okay, so uh, DocXtract is being described as document intelligence and not OCR.
Yeah,
So what's the practical difference a finance head or a CFO or a operations head would actually notice?
yeah. So the biggest difference in doc extract is that it understand document
Hmm.
rather than uh, reading the text. Okay. So it can understand document type, it can understand document layout, and it can figure out what field is where. So instead of teaching the system every supplier invoice format, you simply tell it that this is invoice and these are the fields my ERP needs, and a pre-configured invoice model understand where information like invoice numbers, supplier detail, VAT, tax amount, line items, total, etc. likely to be. And it is not that you have to exactly tell here it is, but where it can be, wherever it is, it will be able to figure out, regardless of what layout, what format the invoice is in. And the output doc extract provide is structured JSON most of the time that is ready to be consumed by downstream systems or processes.
Okay. So now if a finance head is looking at reimagining the process, so can you help us in understanding or walk us through actually what happens the moment an invoice lands in the inbox?
Yeah. So in this reimagined automation with DocXtract, a new invoice arrives through email or in a folder or an existing workflow, whatever SharePoint or wherever or vendor portal the invoice arrives. DocXtract identifies the document type, extract the required business information using its pre-configured model, and returns structured JSON. From there, your existing RPA, API integration, workflow platform, or ERP process can approve and post the transaction. Okay. So doc extract focus on extracting high quality structured data. Okay. It integrates in whatever business workflow you already have. Since we have designed this tech in a way that JSON is currently acceptable with all kind of tech stack available, and whether you are using API or using RPA or any platform, it can easily give you the structured JSON and that can be consumed. And it is as easy as it is sounding right now.
Okay. So now we see Indian finance teams struggle first with the different formats and different layouts and different types of files that they receive. Along with that, there is other compliance related requirements like say GST, and GST is then divided into IGST, CGST, SGST, and then HSN codes. All of these, how does DocXtract handle those?
Yeah, so this is more of a Indian invoices. In international invoices, there are different type of VAT and other things involved. But for Indian invoices, finance teams expect fields like GST, IN, the main thing that drives Indian businesses today. GST breakup, like you mentioned, CGST, SGST, IGST. What is taxable value? What are the taxes in those categories? Invoice number, dates, HSN or SSE code. HSN and SSE code are assigned for all items. Wherever available with supplier detail and line item, it will be able to identify, find in the invoices and put it in a structured format. DocXtract is designed to extract these business fields from invoices without requiring any template creation or training. Business validation, compliance check, or ERP specific rules can continue to happen the way it has been happening in their downstream finance workflow, exactly where they belong. But some of the basic invoice validation like GSTIN number or GST breakup, total matching and all, DocXtract also do that for known document types.
Okay. So as part of DocXtract's say USP, we talk about it is 98% accurate and at a field level and up to 10x faster in processing any document. So what is the say the tech behind it? So what's actually driving that? And is there anything that we have done in terms of with real customers or say clients that you would like to share that experience?
Okay, so the improvement in DocXtract comes from removing the dependency of template building. And since you build template, there are two ways to build template. One is dictionary based templatization, another is screen coordination based template creation, where if the things shift here and there, Okay, if you are doing a screen coordinates, then you'll be not able to get those field accurately. Something else will come. Okay, if you do dictionary based, so like you may say that wherever invoice number colon and whatever number after that is invoice number. Or you can keep on adding INV number, hash invoice, and those kind of things. You can build dictionary, and anything after that may be invoice number. But it is quite possible that there are other different ways other than what is mentioned in the dictionary. Or after that, there are other numbers also, other characters also. It may not extract the whole length of those invoice numbers. Few people have 9 characters in their invoice number. Few people may have 20. Okay. Some people will have date added to that invoice number. Some people may have INV hyphen added to the invoice number. So those are the things which when you do dictionary, it may fail. But in DocXtract, we are using AI to have the context that what can be the invoice number. Okay, so it's trained extensively on all kind of invoices, and basis that AI, it will correctly find that number, which is invoice number. And that goes with all other fields also. So it has understanding what will be HSN number, what will be GSTIN number. And then we put validation also in our enterprise uh, layer. In enterprise tier, we do dual checking. Okay, so we do multi-model comparison, that if the same thing is being extracted, we match and then give confidence level at field level also. And we also give confidence level at the document level. So what happens, most of the traditional OCR and IDP claim to be accurate on the field level. We also do that. That is OCR capability. But at the end of day, when you are using that structure output of an invoice, you need full data. Okay, any field not present there, make it void. Okay, and then a human is required. So we do that for any particular invoice, what are the fields that is necessary to be present, okay, and accurate. So then a document is only successful when all fields are there which are necessary, okay, and in correct format as well. So we reduce the work which people do after extraction, okay, that is taken care by the AI which we have implemented in the extraction.
Yeah, that's like coming full circle from starting from extraction, the say template minimization, and it works on all sorts of documents seamlessly with 98% accuracy at 10x faster processing. So this looks like a very good packaged complete solution for accounts payable. And but when it comes to implementation part of it, every leader would think about ROI. So in terms of ROI, Alok, for an operations head weighing build versus buy, or say whether OCR versus DocXtract or existing system versus DocXtract, in that kind of a situation, what's the real ROI math here? So how can one calculate and come at a decision making data that this is the ROI we are going to get? So and where do the savings actually show up?
Yeah, so there are two aspects of automating account payable. Okay, extraction is a part of it. Okay, so the major bottleneck is extraction in automating account payable. However, automating the whole account payable cycle requires a different ROI calculation, and many of the organizations do that when they are automating it. Where they do not meet that ROI is because of the failure in the extraction. Okay, so whenever we calculate ROI of automating account payable, we think from the perspective of reducing typing effort, data entry effort. Okay, and in with DocXtract, the ROI comes not from saving of data entry, but they come from reducing implementation and maintenance effort. Okay, so implementing automation in AP becomes very easy if you're doing with DocXtract, and maintenance of effort almost go away. So the year in and year on maintenance effort that goes in maintaining the templatization and making sure that extraction happen, that goes away. So main ROI of adopting DocXtract comes from there. When every new supplier doesn't require another template or extraction rule, onboarding become much faster. Finance team also spend less time in correcting extraction issues and more time in handling genuine business exception. So the ROI comes from faster deployment, lower maintenance, and improved productivity over the life of the solution. However, upstream and downstream automation will be always handled by something like RPA or custom development, or many people already have those kind of automation existing. So people who have already automated, switching to DocXtract, give them ROI from the reduced maintenance effort. People who do not have automated yet, they will have better ROI by reducing the implementation effort and later on the ongoing maintenance effort.
Yeah. So thank you for answering the ROI question, because it's one of the most important questions that every leader would think about before implementation. Now coming to the implementation part of it, sometimes some of the solutions look very feasible to us, but when we think about implementing it, the timeline, the IT requirement, the number of people required to first get us started on those say solutions can be a blocker. So in case of DocXtract, what's the actual timeline, a rollout timeline looks like, and what from when a leader can start seeing the difference in the outcome?
So most of the automation in account payable, largest amount of time goes into template creation. If you have more numbers of suppliers, you will have to spend more time in setting those suppliers. Okay, the entry part in ERP entry or some of the validation, it takes less time than in comparison to setting up different vendor. So because with DocXtract, there are no templates to build, implementation is typically much simpler than traditional automation. The focus shifts from integrating DocXtract with your existing workflow or ERP and focuses on defining your business validation that you already follow, rather than setting up all the supplier, their template. There will be a team which will understand those template and build for those format. Template will be built, testing will happen. So there was one use case 3-4 years ago, before DocXtract we were automating. They had 6,000 vendors, suppliers, and for 6,000 supplier, they were trying to figure out with us that how much time it will take to implement it. And even if somebody estimated that per vendor template creation may take 4 hours, okay, then the question comes that why for every vendor you will take 4 hours, even if the templates are almost same. The problem is that for each vendor, you please have to test 4-5 of their invoices, and the testing itself for 6,000 vendor will take much more time than even if somebody is very efficient in templatization and quick templatization. So, but you are not sure that your template will work or not, so you have to test it. In case of DocXtract, we are sure that these value will certainly come out as a JSON structure. JSON. So user continue working on familiar approval process, validation, and ERP. The biggest change is that document data is available in a structured form instead of setting up template. So we advise people that with DocXtract, it will take days, not months, in implementing it. So that's the differentiation we see somewhere, that if you are already savvy of implementing it, it will only take few days to integrate DocXtract. And with DocXtract, we are kind of taking out the time of implementing extraction. Okay, it's very seamless.
Yeah, so now that we have spoken about ROI and also the implementation part of it, let's talk about how it works with the existing system. We touched upon it. You mentioned about how it works seamlessly with the existing automation system, RPA or anything that is there. So how it sits with the existing stack, including automation, and also how it connects to the ERP and other systems like, say, accounting system and all. How does DocXtract fit with them? So is there a because this question of whether the new system or new tool will be disruptive to our existing or legacy system is something that every leader is worried about. So if you can talk about that.
No, what you're asking, that it is disruptive to existing process?
Yes.
No, since they have their own ERP and ER system, DocXtract complements existing enterprise system. So it is not replacing or disrupting any system. It is only focusing on converting paper invoices or PDFs or images scanned into into a format which these ERPs can whatever system they have. So it is not disruptive or replacing those, but it is complementing those. So the data entry part goes away.
Okay, so it seamlessly integrates with the existing system. So how does that integration happen?
Yeah, so integration, every type of integration can happen since it is giving you JSON. So if your ERP has capability to consume APIs via JSON, so it is very seamless. If your ERP provide entry APIs, so again DocXtract can push there. And if none of them is there, then typical RPA automation can consume DocXtract and push that data to existing enterprise systems.
Okay, so thank you so much, Alok. One last question, which I would like to ask on behalf of all the leaders who are watching on will be watching going forward. So what does exactly say what a leader should do this week and in reimagining, say, accounts payable automation, and what should it be?
Yeah, so if there is a focus on improving account payable and the payment life cycle, then the focus should be that whether their system validation and workflow are in place or not, rather than starting evaluating automation platform and comparing OCR engine. Okay, that instead one should focus that how much effort they will spend on maintaining that solution over the year. Okay, maybe next 3 years ROI they can calculate, and ask the software vendor one simple question: how much template creation and recreation or maintenance will my team have to do when a new document format arrive, and that will give the answer that whether the project will scale successfully or became another system constraint that constantly needs maintenance. So they should focus on that whether their workflow and validation system are in place in their ERP, and they can automate in few days if they do it via DocXtract.
Yeah. So thank you, Alok. Thank you so much for taking us through how we can reimagine accounts payable automation with DocXtract, and talked about the existing issues and how that can be easily solved with a product like DocXtract. I would also like to thank everyone for joining us, for tuning in. We would have more coming up in the series where we will discuss about the other document heavy processes that can be solved using DocXtract. Please stay tuned to this space and explore more. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Alok.